It wasn't just a crusading instinct and that we wanted to do good for other people. It was just something that we wanted to do. I mean, I suppose as an Irish person working in England for a long time, I still felt there was some part of me unexpressed as an actor or someone working in theatre, and that could only be expressed by working in my own country, you know, and working on projects that were about expressing me as an Irish person. On this island and to England, and you know, it was the usual thing. I was being asked to be English before I would become Russian, and a reviewer said that in moments of passion I revealed my Irishness, you know, and I don't know, that felt very churlish to me, just because passion's a fairly rare commodity anyway, you know, and if you reveal it, if it's revealed, you ought to be glad of it, you know, not carp about some kind of accent that it was displayed with, you know.
Sweetheart, my tiny white bird. Of course you're going to fly away to the sun, up and away with the great blue sky above you and other beautiful white birds all around you. Of course you will. Fly away, my sweetheart. For God's sake, soar away up there while you're still young. Do it now, now. Fly now or you'll never do it. What's here is only fit for old molting things that can't keep up with the flock anymore.
Brian, what has motivated you to do this translation?
Well, I think primarily it was an act of love. That's what first brought me to the script. I think the other thing is that since it is a world classic, and that by definition means a play that's important to all of us. I think the second thing then had to be that it had to be made, cast in a language that's available to all of us. A new text which allows us to experience Chekhov more directly, I think.
My own little sweetheart, my tiny white bird. Of course you're going to fly away to the sun, up and away, with the great blue sky above you, and other beautiful white birds all round you. Of course you will. Fly away, my sweetheart. For God's sake, soar away up there while you're still young. Do it now, now. Fly now, or you'll never do it. What's here is only fit for old molting things that can't keep up with the flock anymore. He's not telling you the truth. He didn't shave off that mustache. He's molting too. He's molting too.
He's here. Where are we going there? Where are we going today?
It wasn't just a crusading instinct and that we wanted to do good for other people. It was just something that we wanted to do. I mean, I suppose as an Irish person working in England for a long time, I still felt there was some part of me unexpressed as an actor or someone working in theatre, and that could only be expressed by working in my own country, you know, and working on projects that were about expressing me as an Irish person.
It began long before field day. The stand was taken by Yeats that we said, okay, if we're dramatists and if we're actors, we should work on this island and we should talk to ourselves.
Things are different on this island and to England, and you know, it was the usual thing. I was being asked to be English before I would become Russian, and a reviewer said that in moments of passion I revealed my Irishness, you know, and I don't know, that felt very churlish to me, just because passion's a fairly rare commodity anyway, you know, and if you reveal it, if it's revealed, you ought to be glad of it, you know, not carp about some kind of accent that it was displayed with, you know.
People say, oh, you belong in the tradition of Irish drama, which is, they say then, Farquhar, Wilde, Shaw, Sheridan, so on. And in fact, these were all Irish dramatists who went over and acquired a voice, an English voice, so that they could be more acceptable to English people. I think what Yeats did for us on this island was that he said, you don't have to do that, you can stay on this island, speak to your own people in your own voice, and find some kind of completion in that.
Are you listening to me, dopey doctor?
Avidly. What was the revelation?
That man must work. It doesn't matter who he is or what he is, he must toil by the sweat of his brow. Work, work, work. That's the only thing that gives life purpose and meaning. That's the only thing that guarantees contentment and happiness. I'm telling you. My God, what I'd give to be a labourer with the county council, up at the crack of dawn and out smashing stones. Or a sheep farmer, or a bus driver, or a teacher slogging away informing young minds. Isn't that a real revelation? You know you'd give anything. Oh, Jesus.
No, it's okay. That was right that time, I think. In fact, it goes on from, you move on instead of, see, the way you used to do it, that's what life is, work. Then, you know how you'd give, that was a change of tone into kind of a more reflective thing. But I think with this thing gone, you see, a bus driver or a teacher slogging away and forming young minds, isn't that a real revelation? You know the way you'd give anything, so that it takes you on in a run, really, rather than a parenthetical thing which you had before. Do you see what I'm saying?
Now that I think about it, I've never worked either, never lifted a finger since the day I graduated. All I read now, no, I never lifted a finger since the day I graduated, never even opened a book. All I read now is newspapers. See? Ah, I'm wanted downstairs. Maybe somebody wants to consult me.
Well, at least you're in the fortunate position of getting an off-stage cue for that, you know? I mean, provided you do.
Yes.
But at least you've got a good ad lib now to do.
If I run into that, I get the cue anyways.
In vino veritas. Correct?
That fire has me destroyed. Ruined. I must go and change. There was a rumour going about yesterday that our brigade may be transferred. Poland was mentioned, and Siberia. Oh, you may be sure somewhere in the back of beyond.
I heard that rumour too. Thank God I'm finished with all that. Well, when you people leave, this will be a real ghost town.
We're going away too.
Smash to smithereens.
Everybody out.
Hey, come on. Out. Everybody out. Come on.
Where is it? Tell me where it is.
So it's just over there. You don't have to live above
Over
it.
that side?
Aye.
Where?
Just over the hall. You don't have to live above it.
It doesn't make any difference. Standing outside
Well,
and standing outside.
I was trying to get these out.
Well, you go and have it if I don't go out.
You don't have to all the carry out.
So it's serious then.
Okay now, boys and girls, move quickly.
Where to go?
Go down to the front of the hall and assemble down there.
And here's a place the bomb scare.
It's over beside Duffy's pub, love. You're all right there, your way around the corner. Anybody here? Bomb scare? No, it's okay. Where are you going, Eamon? Everybody out. Right now.
Get them out of sight, out of line of sight. The people by the fence, get them back.
We've still got a 5-minute long stage, you know. We've got to get it. I mean, we've got to get those chairs all down, you know.
Yeah.
What, for the night, you mean?
Yeah, for the night. And that last set, change between 3 and 4, has got to be done.
Is that the one you're talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about when you come in with Andre going out gambling.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I never got around to marrying. She'd happen much. She'd happen quicker, or even as you're coming in the door.
I'll try that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
You both got on, and then you started the line, and I just sort of was waiting for the scene to start. But in fact, of course, you're supposed to have been talking, continuing a conversation.
I know. Maybe last night it wasn't right because we changed it, and he'd gone in before I did. Yeah.
I think that also the emphasis in the line is the only woman I ever truly loved was already married.
Was already married. Yeah.
Do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
He's got lots to do, Steve. Can you ring someone up? Oh,
There you go.
Jesus Christ. Another one from
Seen one of those with it all scattered.
Wow.
The whole
Yeah,
200 pounds of stuff scattered over the street. At the lyric.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Scattered.
Oh, you were there when that one went off.
I was standing
Grabbed your,
beside
grabbed your money and ran like
when
hell.
I was going. Didn't know when people said, get out.
First thing he grabbed was his money.
I didn't get a pad and a penny. I had to borrow money for make a phone call.
Did you?
Aye, to get a duplicate set of keys to get into the flat.
You shouldn't carry your money about in handbags, that's why.
Keep
it in your pocket like a, you know.
It's my wee drink.
We'll be in soon.
We can go. We can take up the rehearsal later this evening. But
I hope they're certain which car's in.
Yeah, see, going through the car park.
That'll be said.
But it's messing up our schedule.
I mean, you've been in town, what, 5 weeks now, and this must be 6 weeks, and it's the first time you saw anything like this.
And even since nothing last year. Nothing when you were having when you were here last year.
Very little last year. I mean, I think car bombing was a thing of the past. But fortunately, I don't think it will really affect the bookings. The advance bookings were going extremely well.
I wouldn't have any effect at all.
I wouldn't have thought so. Well, in the past it would used to have, but people have got used to it now, really. And,
middle section, that middle block of chairs,
Aye.
of seats, will they be like exactly in a row together, or will they be kind of, what's the word, you know?
I know what you mean. You want
Staggered,
you
or
want to
whatever.
stagger them, to improve the view. And that was done last year. There'd be no
Fine,
problem. Right?
fine.
Just twisting the Guildhall, I think that's the main traffic. Will I go up to get over the top left side? Right, one year on the left side. That's the ladder steady. Let's go.
A lot of people, a lot of northern people, for example, are disaffected with London. A lot of northern people are disaffected with Dublin. A lot of southern people are very confused about their own 26 county state. And if Field Day makes some kind of a modest little stand which says, okay, there's a possibility of something outside all those tribal loyalties and all those traditional attitudes, this may give some tiny expression to that.
You know, Derry has some kind of sense of independence about it, that it doesn't look to Dublin, doesn't look to Belfast. It's just, because it's been kind of bashed around so much, they know that they've only got themselves to depend on, you know.
I think there are other areas in the north that have that kind of independence too. It means that they don't find easy subscription to Belfast, they don't find easy subscription to Dublin. So that maybe this modest little enterprise of ours can articulate that kind of independence and maybe prophesy the new kind of focal point for the whole island. I'm always nervous of making pronouncements.
Meanwhile, the H-Block situation continues to dominate politics, this time at local council level. With nominations just closed for a by-election in the Newry and Mourne District Council, there's going to be a straight fight between Jack McMahon of the SDLP and James McCreesh, father of the dead hunger striker Raymond McCreesh. Well, now for a look at the rest of the day's news, Wendy Austin at the news desk.
There's been an explosion this afternoon in Spencer Road in Londonderry. A bomb went off in a van left outside a bakery 40 minutes after a warning call was made to the Samaritans. An army bomb disposal expert had carried out a controlled explosion on the device. The bomb itself went off sometime later.
So, were you doing a wee broadcast today?
You know what had happened there? There were diesel oil fumes. The BBC fumes.
Who were?
Diesel oil fumes in the studio, and the technical men walked out.
Why?
Because there were diesel fumes in the studio.
Was that bad for you?
I never noticed it at all. So I had to sit there from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock doing nothing. Fire exits open like that. Oh, I seen it. It's all right. Just after I was on the fish.
Sorry about that.
Excuse me, Miss Friel, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Pollock, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Spain, Mr. Buggy, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Meany. Your calls, please. One nurse, please. Excuse me.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
That's my mum. Ticket holders straight on through. Anybody has to pick up a ticket up to 5 Guildhall Street. And the last people on will be the people who's come from Dublin. And whenever they're through...
Well, anyway, everything's under control.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Fine.
Well, we have a full house tonight, so let's hope it goes well.
Keep our fingers
Good
crossed,
man.
sir.
See you later.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Kathleen. How you doing? Are you well? Good. How do you think?
Ticket holders.
On you go.
Ticket holders inside.
I hope it goes well. It will go well.
Thank you. Anyway, all the best, Seamus.
And the best of luck to you.
Good to see you again. Thank you very much.
I'll have to get those tickets back out.
We'll see you later on, yes.
The best of luck to you.
Right on it, yes.
Take it forward.
Graham.
How you doing? Welcome, Ray Jonathan. Thank you very much.
There's that one there.
Hello there. How you doing, Belgium? Devlin, what do you want? Vodka and what? Tonic. Vodka tonic and a gin and tonic. Oh, wait.
You're rolling at the moment.
Oh, upside down your fag.
Never let a fag upside down. It's not a good idea.
Well, it's 2.25 hours, which is quite long, really. It's very long, but nevertheless, there's plenty going on, right?
Brian has obviously been influenced, not so much influenced, in love with Chekhov for years. He admires him as almost as a hero of the imagination.
They're very like each other, the pair of them. Do you know what I mean? Brian's temperament and the type of character that Chekhov is interested in, very like Brian's own character. And I think this idea now of going from his very poetic conception of an Irish play in translations to go into Chekhov and sort of say similar artists in similar situations in other countries were doing this, get the classics going. That in turn is going to make writers here think again.
The really exciting thing about it is that it is an action that's springing from one creative centre, Brian Friel, who has 15, 16, 17 plays to his name.
Speaking to Kenneth Trout, he was looking for you. Have you seen him, Kenneth? He's enrolled well.
And what guarantees it over, say, touring companies set up from above by arts councils, what guarantees the energy of this is that it's coming from underneath, from out of one man's enthusiasm, and not just enthusiasm, conviction, skill, power, and Friel is flooding into the company.
1 minute, please. Take your seats, please. 1 minute call, please.
I think that Stephen Ray's commitment is something to be saluted, because Ray has all the possibilities of glamour and a certain kind of success in London. But again, there is a connection with the first place.
10 seconds now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats as the performance is about to begin. Can you please take your seats as the performance is about to begin? Thank you.
Nearly there.
That's very nice. They're getting very bored with this tap dancing you do in the play. Alge also.
Cool.
Well, full house tonight, boys.
Aye.
Big crowd.
I think it'll be the same all week, Michael. Very well put, okay.
It's difficult enough getting them out of the bar.
Then
Everyone wants, you're expected to seat about 500 people in 2 minutes, right at the end.
No, it's tearing up before they can. Hope they don't look till we get out again.
Is there any tickets left? How's the bookings going?
We're completely sold out.
Absolutely sold out.
Completely sold out.
Morning.
Oh, that's great.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Eamon. How are you?
I was wondering, I had a letter this morning, and they were asking if there's any possibility they were coming to Derry. A friend of mine, two friends of mine, going to Derry on Friday. And if you have any tickets available, do you think they're
Sorry, we're completely sold out for Friday night and tomorrow night as well. Completely booked out. Sorry.
Eamon's in the company, Donna. I mean, there's no house seats or.
No,
sure
even the house seats are booked up for tonight and tomorrow night.
Yeah.
There's seats available for the
That's my
matinee
own
Saturday
fault, really.
afternoon.
And they didn't tell
That's
me.
the only
It's
things
their
left.
fault because they didn't tell me in time.
No,
you know.
sorry, we're completely sold out.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Hello, Paddy. It's Jude. Yeah, hiya. Sorry I didn't ring Finola yesterday. We had bomb scares all afternoon, and when I eventually got in to get hold of her, she wasn't there.
Don't say if anyone keeps going on about it's long, they ought to tell Chekhov.
Lights in the hallway. Your lighting man controls the house lights.
Not the front house lights. Well, I
So
think what
said
happened
that
last night, the house lights went out when they shouldn't have,
right,
or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, the lights. The reason that the lights in the hallway went out was because the PA, the speaker is so bad. This is where we want vote to check.
Yeah.
People 3 yards down, they couldn't hear it. And the only way we could indicate to them if we want them to go back was to flick
They
the
turn the
lights
lights
off
out.
and on.
Even the announcement prior to the curtain going up. I mean, I was saying, the mic broken down.
With the rhythms and richness of local speech, injecting a solid naturalness to the work. That's nice.
Yeah, that is nice. Skill, style, compassion, and the similarity between both writers and ensure that the inner meanings are retained. Irish got a lot in common with the Russians.
I always feel it's an honour and a privilege to act to an Irish audience, because there you're getting an absolute, attentive and very critical audience who will discuss the play with you in depth afterwards, I mean, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, the sheet metal worker, they will all be round and they will be into it. It doesn't matter who wrote the play. Chekhov, they'll be into it because they've spotted what relates to them. And it's part of, it's part of life in Ireland, the theatre, and always has been. It's like the old joke about but you know that joke, don't you? About the fellow on the building site being asked if he knew the difference between a joist and a girder,
No,
and
go on.
and the Englishman asked him that, and he turns around and he said, "I sure didn't Joyce write Ulysses and Goethe wrote Faust."
That's right. That's right. I come on that stage and the first, everybody ignores me completely. Everybody ignores the character. Every time I come on, everybody seems to turn away. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to find the energy within myself to.
Do you mean the other people in the play?
The other characters.
The other characters.
Yes,
in the
the other
play. That makes
characters.
it very true. That means you're playing it very true. Because, I mean,
yes,
I believe, that often Keegan comes over as a comic character.
But women don't respect a character like that. Do you agree? Do you agree?
I think women involved with men like that don't respect them, but women outside the situation will have tremendous sort of say, "What a nice guy." And
But that's
you see, I got a funny reaction. I got a very funny reaction because when I come off after that, the first time I looked at that scene when you played it, I actually cried.
Please, for God's sake, please.
Write to me, my darling. And when you think of me, Masha, I've got to leave. Oh God!
please, I've got to go. Lift.
Look at this town. 100,000 people, all indistinguishable. In the 200 years that this town has existed, it hasn't produced one person of any distinction. Not one saint, not one scholar, not one artist. Just 100,000 identical drab people, eating, sleeping, working, eating, sleeping, dying.
I think that works, does it?
I mean, I'm going to object to every one, you know, that's the thing. I mean, I feel that way, you know. I don't even particularly like that one of Killigan's going.
I think ideally if we got 20 minutes off it, you know, I think we'd be in.
God, it's big, isn't it?
It's a lot, of course it's a lot. But I think, you see, there are two ways you can handle it, Stephen. You can, as I say, take little lines here and every third page or every fourth page and or else you can go for
big ones,
bigger chunks. If we take the small lines, 2 lines here and 2 lines there and so on, I think then you would have a problem of recreating the flow of the play again.
Mm.
I think that would then take a day's rehearsal. I think that's difficult at this point. See, there was an area, for example, I wondered about on page 62.
Baron? The Baron?
Aye.
Baron is drunk?
Yeah.
Because it's not, yeah.
What do you think of that?
Like, you know,
what do you think?
I don't mind losing it, you know. It doesn't, I mean, it's not like I don't feel that it's precious or anything.
See,
Just
one of the difficulties about this enterprise is that you're inclined to sacrifice areas that you think aren't working so well, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's one way of doing it too. But I mean,
well, maybe it is.
I mean, it wrecks. Yeah, but I mean.
Actually, no.
That bit you're talking about is a bit I don't particularly love or anything.
Yeah.
And therefore I wouldn't.
Yeah, but it's also another valid reason for getting rid of it is that it isn't in the
original.
The original.
Yeah, I'm aware of that too.
So. But you see again,
if you know, there's another bit that's not the Berditch of Town is not in the original.
Do you want rid of that?
No. No, you don't either. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, we will probably end up taking the tiny bits, you know.
Yeah, and of course that'll start to affect it in all kinds of.
Yeah.
It'll start to jolt along then, won't it? Yeah. And kind of moves and stuff will start to change. And I have to.
My memory also, Stephen, was that there was a speech of the Barons early on in the play that could be the cut, where himself and Verschienen are
talking about
life.
Mm. But you know, it's not all that long. He'd be very upset. That's the thing.
Everybody's going to be upset.
Will be upset, yeah. I suppose we should have been sensible and done this 5 weeks ago. No, really, before it was part of the awareness of the play, you know. Well, it'll feel very shocking to most of them, you know.
I don't think so. No. You remember that the very early on in rehearsal, someone came to us and said,
"You are going to cut."
When are you going to
cut? I know,
but
they didn't mean their own bits. They meant the fellas next door, because they were bored waiting for their turn to come, you know.
Yeah.
We cut on page 100 from Solly only began picking on him, down to and including, oh my goodness, I love that story.
Could I suggest also there, just it's a tiny wee thing, but far be it from me to say, but I do think that that fire has me ruined. If you're going to make that big cut, you know, I think he's fairly taciturn at that moment.
Unfortunately, you can't cut all the expositional stuff. You have to let everybody know what everybody's doing on the stage. And I mean, I hate to cut all the long conversations because I think it's a play about people sitting around talking instead of doing things about the mess that their lives are in. That's what I believe the play to be about. But something has to go, and I think we're all agreed on that.
You talk about earning Acts 3 and 4, you know, but you could earn Acts 3 and 4 with one act.
The trouble is, I mean, we've been through this very, very carefully, and it's...
And I know it's very difficult. I know it's very difficult, but you build up the climaxes, you know. You know, you're leaving the foreplay in and cutting the orgasm. In my opinion.
We all have different ideas, you know, about what should be cut, and I think we have
everyone
to,
in the company.
we have to trust the director.
We don't come up with different versions.
No, but it's agonizing, especially if you spend 5 weeks working on it. Just terrible, you know. And you know, every moment that somebody has agonized over it at some point, and it's just, I mean, it's a terrible thing to do. It's just very violent. But you...
Yes. I've just given you notice of my intentions, but I will fight you to the death over that, and I will give you longer out of my own part. Now, there you are. Because when you do a beautiful bit of writing like that, you shouldn't massacre it yourself.
Really, you can take the entire script and you can cut out, on every single line, you can lose, on every single page, you can lose 2 lines.
Yeah.
2 lines on every single page, which means that you're going to cut the play by 3/4 of an hour. Now, if you do that, you then have to start re-rehearsing the entire play because the whole rhythm of the play suddenly gets thrown out of kilter.
Yes, but there's also whole rhythms that go with...
Now, maybe we should have done this 10 days ago, I don't know. But now we're into a situation where we've got to make larger and more severe surgery that in fact leaves the body intact, you know? We lose a limb, but we can still move in some kind
The
of...
last bit of surgery you perform on the human body is the brain and the heart. You can lose a leg, you can lose an arm, but if you cut the vital organs, you know...
They're all vital.
No, Sarka, not everything is vital. I could give you a good third of my part, quite easy, but you haven't touched.
What you do with the text is an actor comes on and makes a sound.
Yes.
Makes a long sound.
Yes.
You then move on to Act 2, and all he's got to do is to make the least little sound, and the audience knows, he's off on his monologue. You know, that's why, Jimmy.
Well, I mean, what to say,
established, you know,
around our brigade may be transferred.
The things that you say about other people, the little things that are dropped in and are built up. I mean...
Oh, yeah, I take the point that it's difficult, but I think maybe you've cut in haste, you know, and you had to cut in haste.
I tell you, I think this play is so well written that it would be hard to cut without rewriting, because you think, well, how can I cut 2 lines here? Because it's all part of a general flow. So that means you have to go for a chunk. I'm telling you, it's been extremely unpleasant having to do it.
Now between John and myself, that kind of thing, that's very valuable, because you take a whole piece out, and that's better than cutting small pieces out. Although, you know, one regrets it. Regrets. But it's the best way to do it. Get it out. Get all that piece out.
To hell with them. To hell with the whole lot of them. Just because I'm called doctor, they think that I can make them all whole. Me, who knows sweet damn all. The sweet damn all I used to know, that's forgotten too. All gone, gone, gone. So to hell with them. And to hell with you specifically, my friend. You know why you're drunk, don't you? Of course you do.
I mean,
we both know.
Thank you.
It's just a wee different.
Page 18. This is for El Baron.
Life can stifle too, you know. It never got a chance to blossom. Now I'm crying. Stupid, haven't I?
God, I'm late.
Irina, darling, many happy returns. Look at the crowd of guests. Goodness gracious, I could never face in there. Is that all right?
Very good. You know those awful sickening phrases like make a virtue of it, you know, but you actually have, you know, because it's very good that she laughs there. Because it's something she does later as well. I think I've cut that as well. No, laughing and crying, do you know? Yeah. Okay? Let's go on.
All right, yes, I'm happy. Huh? Yes. An actor is there for the good of the play, nothing else. That's what he's there for. That's for the good of the team. Yes. The play is the thing.
It's hard to know. It's impossible to gauge how much we have lost at the moment, you know?
Has the idea of starting at 7:30 in Dublin?
I don't know. We haven't discussed it really.
I don't think those cuts should have been done, Deirdre. The argument that people don't want to see it or don't want to see a long play in Dublin isn't really valid, because we know that people want to see the work. It's a shame just for practical reasons of time.
I think it's a shame that it was never even thought of.
Stephen
and Brian never even thought of it.
Did anybody ever think of cutting Long Day's Journey into night? Or ever think of cutting, what's the play by Eugene O'Neill? What is it? What's the play by Eugene O'Neill? What is it? What's the really long play? People are very slow to sort of cut in there. I'm just very sad that it was cut like that. Are you, Deirdre? No, you're just thinking of the practicalities.
I was just listening for me cue at the moment.
Hard to believe it's only a year since Father's death, isn't it? 12 months to the day, the 5th of May.
You know, and we were the only two who were prepared to do it. I mean, I'm not saying nobody else would have ever thought of it, you know, so a producer wouldn't find... There's no crack in this for a producer. I mean, Jesus, you're losing money for a start, you know. So, I mean, we're doing it... We're Diaghilev because there's nobody else around to be that figure, you know. Very presumptuous remark.
In 200 or 300 years' time, in 1,000 years' time, and in a way, time hasn't really got much to do with it. I think, yes, I'm convinced that a new kind of life, a truly happy life, will have evolved. We won't experience it, of course, but our lives here, now, our work, our anxieties, our sufferings, that's all a kind of preparation, almost a process of distillation. That's the purpose of our existence. And because it is our purpose, it's the only possibility of happiness that we have.
An awful lot of young people have come to see this show, you know, haven't they, Brian? In Derry and everywhere. People, and as you say, with an open mind about Chekhov, not hung up about it, not kind of saying this is, you know, this is culture that I'm not really entitled to or anything. It's just, you know, they come over the door and they sit and they look at it and they accept it and it means something to them, and I think they're far less worried about, say, the length of it than are the critics who complained about it. You know, the ordinary people, they say, okay, it takes 4 hours, you know.
Are you listening to me, dopey doctor?
Avidly, what was the revelation?
That man must work. It doesn't matter who he is or what he is, he must toil by the sweat of his brow. Work, work,
Work! That's the only thing that gives life purpose and meaning. That's the only thing that guarantees contentment and happiness. I'm telling you. My God, what I'd give to be a labourer at the county council, up to the crack of dawn and out smashing stones. Or a sheep farmer, or a bus driver, or a teacher slugging away in forming young minds. Isn't that a real revelation?
You know, critics believe, for example, that Chekhov is posh. In some way, if we have done any modest little thing, we have exploded that notion that Chekhov is a posh, it's posh drama. It's not posh drama. It's a drama about ordinary Russian people, middle-class Russian people, and I think audience have received it on that level.
We must come to an understanding, Olga, you and I. Your place is in the school, mine is in the home. You teach your classes, I run this house. And when I make a decision about the servants, that decision will be respected. Is that clearly understood? I do know what I'm talking about, all right? So, that old hag, that thieving old bitch clears out of this house tomorrow, and don't you ever cross me again, you hear me? Ever! Lord bless us and save us. If I don't leave soon, we'll end up having a wee tiff, and that'd be awful, wouldn't it?
I don't know what the next piece will be at all, by any means. But
no, I think there is a minuscule problem for Stephen. In other words, he is primarily an actor, and I'm primarily a writer, so that in some kind of way we both ought to be back practicing our crafts. But at the same time, I think that we both have derived a lot of energy and strength and some kind of, well, not in his terms, but in my terms, rejuvenation from field day. That I would be very reluctant to forgo simply for the sake of writing.
Would you?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, yeah. Because this goes back to what we talked about earlier, that in some kind of way that, in some way it fulfills, from my point of view, it fulfills my whatever writing ambitions I may have, and it's also deeply involved in a political situation at the moment, in some kind of way.
Well, I mean, although I'm not acting in this production, I feel that about, you know, the whole thing too. I mean, I feel more alive about the work I'm doing than I have felt for years. Not quite rejuvenation in your case, in my case.
Just rejuvenation.
We had a lot of fun together, Podotic. I'm going to miss you. You too, Robbie. Goodbye, old friends. Goodbye, old comrades.
It's not goodbye, it's au revoir.
It's goodbye, and well, you know it. Please, my petals. Please. We'll never see each other again. No, you don't know that. Now you have me crying too.
Oh, yes, we all will meet again. I know we will.
Maybe in 10 or 15 years' time, and by then we'd be strangers. We wouldn't even recognize one another. Oh, hold it like that. Oh, my goodness me. Lovely.
Lovely, he says. How can I be lovely when my eyes are all blotched?
And another, one more. The last one. You all look so distinguished.
Who wants to look distinguished? We just want to look pretty. We'll never meet again, Baron. Goodbye, my friend.
I think the fact that we do a series of one-night stands around the north is some kind of a political gesture. I think the fact that we get funding from both arts councils is in some way a recognition that it is a political gesture. And political in the sense that it has to do with how people live on this island. Political also in the sense that we think in some kind of minuscule way that we are defining how this island may ultimately end up. We also think, I don't want to preempt what Stephen may say about this, but in some kind of way there certainly is no recognition of, no subscription to the northern state as it exists. Indeed, we haven't much subscription to the southern state as it exists, so that perhaps there's a possibility that out of this kind of enterprise that may make... I'm always so nervous of inflated language in this situation, but there's always the possibility that this kind of enterprise may point the way to some kind of a total island to which subscription may be offered by people north and south. Is that inflated, Stephen?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, specific little ways that it happens in this tour is somebody like Eamon Kelly, who's from Kerry, goes around the north and is proud to say that he's now played in every one of the 6 counties, and he's going to be seen by the northern people as one of their actors as much as a Kerry man, you know. I think that's great, you know. I think that's yeah, I think that's new, you know, and vital. And only theatre can do that, you know.
Yes, of course we'll die and be forgotten. Everything about us, how we looked, how we spoke, that there were 3 of us. But our unhappiness and our suffering won't be wasted. They're a preliminary to better times. And because of them, the people who come after us will inherit a better life, a life of peace and content and happiness. And they will look back on us with gratitude and with love. But our lives aren't over yet, by no means. We are going to go on living. And that music is so confident, so courageous. It almost seems as if it's about to be revealed very soon. Why we're alive and what our suffering is for. If only we knew that. If only we knew that.
There was I, waiting at the church, waiting at the church, waiting at the church, when I found we left in the love. Oh, how it did upset matters, sweet damn all. Sweet damn all matters.
If we only knew